Bitcoin is having a hot summer. And as of today, July 10th, BTC has officially locked in a fresh all-time high at $113,000. That being said, I definitely don't think this party is over just yet. In fact, I think it's just getting started. And with the way the charts are shaping up, not only for BTC, but for Bitcoin miners as well, I think that more new highs are on the horizon, which of course is great news for us over at WavesCap, given our exposure to Bitcoin and of course call options as well on Bitcoin miners as well as BITX. Okay, I'm excited to dive into this one, you guys. What's good for BTC is, again, just good news for all of us. That's really at the core of this channel, so it always feels good seeing Bitcoin really just continue to scratch to those new all-time highs. And it is validating given just the entire thesis that we've held around Bitcoin for, many years now, but especially as we've been discussing in the newsletters, the breakout, the big summer breakout that we've been expecting looks like it is beginning to come to fruition. So we'll kick it off by reading over just a few key points here, just touch on what's going on in the crypto world from a very bird's eye view fundamental perspective. And then of course we'll dive, we'll dive into the charts, talk BTC, talk about this final target that is standing in BTC's path to what we'll cover $120 and beyond, in my opinion. And then we will dive into Bitcoin miners, Riot, Iron, Hut, and Mara. Okay, again, always enjoy talking about BTC and Bitcoin miners. If you guys do go on to gain value from this video, a like and a subscription goes a long way. So appreciate it if you do that. And let me know in the comments, what is your summer? We'll go July, just keep it simple. What is your July 31st, August 1st price target for BTC? Really excited to see what you guys are thinking there. Don't be afraid to shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars, maybe you'll end up at the moon. Okay, so Bitcoin sets another record above $113,000 as investors jump into risk assets and liquidate their shorts. Bitcoin climbed to a new all-time high on Thursday, July 10th, building on its previous record reached just a day earlier as investors jumped into risk assets and liquidated short positions. The price of the flagship cryptocurrency was higher by more than 2% at $113,766. Earlier, it rose as high as, we'll round up to 14K. Over the past 24 hours, $318 million in short liquidations across centralized exchanges, according to CoinGlass. When traders use leverage to short Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency's price rises, they buy Bitcoin back from the market to close their positions, which pushes up the price and causes positions to be liquidated. This is known as a good old short squeeze. Okay, so Bitcoin, I don't know who is shorting Bitcoin in this market. It seems like not only for Bitcoin, but for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ as well. At this point, if everything, all the geopolitical conflicts, all of the macroeconomic issues that have arisen over the past few months, like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are at all-time highs, following a massive sell-off in April, similar to Bitcoin. If we are in the position we are now, again, not only for Bitcoin, but the SPY, just the greater markets, the greater equity markets, it seems incredibly unlikely to me that anything is stopping further highs. The momentum is clearly in the favor of the bulls. And again, it's validating considering this is really what we've been talking about in the newsletters for a long time. So just for a little immediate proof, this was yesterday's newsletter that I sent out. You can see here in this Bitcoin analysis, I was calling it 3% away. We're pretty much at this line I was discussing here, this line of absolute resistance up top. And I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that I think it is tested shortly. And you shouldn't be surprised that I think a breakout is very likely. As a result, let's go Bitcoin. Okay? So before we dive into the charts, before we talk Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners, if you guys want my daily newsletters, I'll give you guys a taste of what's going on here. If you guys want to know exactly what's not only in my call options portfolio and how I'm trading call options, put options on a day-to-day basis, I do swing trade call options. I do swing trade call and put options. I swing trade options. Just for those of you who may not be familiar, I have a pretty significant common share portfolio, or just common shares of stocks. Of many of the names that we discuss here on the channel as well. That's for the long term. Those are my set and forget it. Those are the diamond hands positions. As Same goes for my crypto positions, but as far as day-to-day trading and day-to-day operations are concerned, I do swing trade options. So just a heads up, if you guys want to learn how to simply and effectively trade options with Robinhood examples, that is going to be at the first link in the description of the video. And of course, if you guys want my daily newsletters, my daily analysis, this is my portfolio analysis newsletter, comes out every day, as well as my trade alert newsletters, then that is going to be my complete portfolio, daily trade alerts, okay? With this, you will get everything that this box here entails. $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. That is completely up to you, or try it free. The reason I do free trials is because I'm so confident in the product I provide. And I take a lot of pride in the fact that very, very few people cancel on me. So I like to feel like I'm doing something right. Okay. So again, if you want to join the team, if you want to join WavesCap for real and trade with us on a daily basis, it's the first link in the description of the video. Welcome to the team if you join. If not, no worries. I hope you still gain some value from this video. Okay, so BTC, we are so close to testing this line of absolute resistance. You guys know the drill. Conservative resistance using multiple touch points, and then absolute resistance using this single candle wick here. Okay, traders are still looking at this, but to be completely honest with you, I think the fact that we broke above this line of conservative resistance is incredibly bullish, especially when we look at the way that one-day RSI, where my cursor is hovering here, right here, one-day RSI bouncing off its EMA, nowhere near overbought territory yet. Overbought territory is signaled by these dashed blue lines at the top here, 80 plus, with one-day stochastic RSI curling upwards. This is a very, very bullish setup. We're seeing building volume. Okay, that is not. Bearish divergence would be if we were seeing a price move up with volume declining, but this is incredibly bullish. You see momentum building in volume along with this price spike. And again, the short squeezes, eliminating the shorts could, I mean, that was the catalyst for this little breakout that we're seeing now. And from here, if Bitcoin is able to break above this line of absolute longer term resistance dating back to December of 24, that is true blue sky territory. We locked in a new all-time high. We are technically in blue sky territory, but when you zoom out, you can see that there are plenty of, there's still plenty of levels of resistance standing in Bitcoin's path. Okay. From here, if and when this line is broken, again, this line of absolute resistance, call it, just to be safe, 117. If Bitcoin can see $117,000, I think it's incredibly likely that by the end of the month, by August 1st, we make our way up to this line of conservative macro resistance. You can see this massive ascending channel, beautiful ascending channel, like nice and up and down, nice and parallel. That's up and down, nice and parallel. It's a very, very textbook ascending channel. Sorry guys, it's been a long morning, but nice parallel ascending channel. This is, again, if you Google ascending channel, this is something like, this is what would show up. And again, my target for this next wave in BTC is going to be this line of conservative resistance. Again, this lower line, the southern line, on this massive ascending channel. Okay, so again, we have conservative resistance, a line right here, multiple touch points, absolute resistance, which is entirely possible, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this at all, using these singular touch points right here, taking us, if we are to see this again by the end of the month, by early August, that'll take us up about 15% to 130 to about $136,000, $137,000, of course, depending upon when these trend lines are tested. If this is broken, again, if this line of resistance we've been discussing, this green line, is broken, I think it's, again, maybe it takes a week or two, but once that happens, and just with the way everything is shaping up, I think some massive moves are on the horizon, and I'm really excited to see the waves that Bitcoin can make in the week ahead. Okay, so all that in mind, this optimism and this price action behind Bitcoin has reignited a fire underneath Bitcoin miners, and we've been calling it, you guys. It's only a matter of time until these names pick up steam and pick up momentum. They were sleeping for a long time. They were breaking hearts. They were crushing souls. Over the majority of 2025, while it underperformed just so many other growth stocks and just even like the NASDAQ and S&P, Bitcoin miners have fallen short. Now they're reawakening, and we'll kick it off. Again, we're going to cover all the names that I've listed that I listed earlier and in the description or in the title of this video. But we're going to kick it off with, of course, my favorite, my largest position of the bunch, and that is going to be Riot Platforms. Also, one of my largest common share positions in the portfolio. I bought Riot back in 2017 when it was floating around $1, and I haven't looked back since. Okay, so Riot, as we zoom out, you can see Riot is quickly approaching a very, very, very significant line of long-term resistance. This line of resistance is so significant, it's been in play since July of 2023, okay? This trend line has been in play for 2 freaking years, okay, on this massive descending channel. We did manage to break above my line of, again, conservative long-term resistance, but we are still so close, but so far away from breaking above a multi-year downtrend, okay? At the same time, this is incredibly bullish. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is going to happen, and I'll give you a little insight as far as how I plan to trade my portfolio and trade my Riot position on this, okay? So from here, if we are to make our way up, 7.5% over the next few days, over the next few trading sessions, then I think it's very likely that we not only test this line of, again, multi-year resistance, multi-year absolute resistance, but we ultimately break above this line of resistance and test the line that plays into my favorite trading pattern, which I do have a trader tips on. If you guys want my members exclusive videos where I do the waves plays every Sunday and cover all the names within the portfolio, not just Bitcoin, but all the exciting AI names as well. And even, I even have like Silver in the mix. I have CRISPR in the mix, which that position is crushing it. AMD, all those names, if you want that, along with my trader tips, like videos where I do, little technical tutorials, that's going to be the join button below this video. That's $5 a month. What are you waiting for if you're not signed up for that? It's $5 a month. Okay, so anyway, plug aside. This is my favorite trading pattern to trade off of, and this is fun because you guys can kind of just follow along with this, draw this trend line for yourself, and watch it come to fruition in real time. This is kind of the hack. This is my hack. If I was I don't like saying anything in trading is a hack, but if there was kind of like a golden ticket in the trading game, this pattern is it. It's these broken lines of supports, in this case, coming into play as new resistance. The same works vice versa. But in this case, broken support, new resistance. This trend line has yet to be retested. And I do think that once and if this line of long-term resistance is broken above, it's pretty much guaranteed that we climb another 4 to 5% in order to test this line of broken support as new resistance. Okay, once and if we test this, I will sell the entirety of my Riot call position. I'm holding my Riot common shares for the long run. Once and if we test this line of broken resistance, let's just call it $14 just to play it conservatively. Once and if Riot sees $14, selling my entire call position because I do think we get a subtle pullback. I think that pullback takes us to, again, the opposite. Retest this line of broken long-term resistance as a new support. That is where I will reestablish my Riot call position and put some of that capital back to work, because I think things can get really, really exciting for Bitcoin miners really fast if Bitcoin does, climb to $1.30 and beyond. Okay, so that is Riot. Let's go to Iron. Iron is the most, this is clearly the most hyped name within the Bitcoin sector right now. Insane volume, insane price action, massively overbought right now as far as RSI is concerned, which is why I personally haven't bought any Iron. And if you guys are holding onto any of this right now, none of this is investment advice, but if I rode this wave up, I would 110% be taking profits here. Okay. Now, as far as entries are concerned, I have 2 targets in mind, one conservative and one that I really wouldn't be surprised to see tested, but we'll see how it plays out. So the first, let's draw that right there. The first is going to be this line that clearly acted as a ceiling for Iron in the past, right here around 1580. Okay, so here, July 9, 2024, multiple tests here, December of 24 as well. We broke above that, saw a nice spike. Technically we came down to, following that, we immediately saw from Iron's all-time high right here, not all-time high, but at least 2025 high. So an immediate pullback, kind of did test it, got eaten up with buy orders. It's entirely possible that Iron continues to climb. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but I think it's much likelier than not that some of this capital flows into other Bitcoin miners. I think Iron sees a pullback. You can see today that Iron underperformed the bunch. So I do think that iron pulls back at least another 6-7%. With the worst case scenario, say Bitcoin pulls back, this is unlikely, but this is possible. With the worst case scenario, in my opinion, being a retest, say by the end of the month, this stock really pulls back and capital really flows into other miners. I would be surprised to see this stock pull back to a maximum of, I'll just call it right there. I'll call it 1370, $14. Like I would definitely buy iron at $14. Which would result in about, like an 18 to 20% correction from current levels. So just keep an eye on these, you guys. This purple line, again, 1375, call it $14 just to play it not greedily, okay? If you're looking to enter a position or exit a position, be conservative. Always be conservative. At least that's my belief. So $14, we'll just call it $14. I'd personally buy iron. Let's take a look at HUT and then close it out with Mars. So HUT is looking pretty good. You can see here that HUT did break above this line of long-term resistance. You can see right here, came up, kind of hugged it. I'll consider that a loose retest of this line of broken longer-term resistance. Right here, we're in a very clear shorter-term ascending channel. I'll just make that yellow so it's easily visible. Short-term ascending channel right here. We are currently testing the top end of the shorter-term ascending channel, but if Bitcoin rallies higher, it's incredibly likely to me that HUT does as well. My first target for HUT to the upside is going to be about 13-14% up from current levels. That is going to be this line of kind of long-term resistance on this parallel. Like, again, we broke above this ascending channel, this long-term ascending channel you can see here for quite a while, from November all the way to February of 25, okay? So we spent a lot of time up there, which does create the macro channel, which we'll talk about in a second. But my first target for HUT would be this line of, we'll just call it like this central line of resistance on this conservative ascending channel, okay? Again, that would take us to about $25. Give or take a buck, depending upon when we do test this. And then from there, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm really bullish on HUT just fundamentally as we move through the rest of 2025, especially in the case that Bitcoin continues to perform. My target for HUT, where I would take really meaningful profits if I was holding call options on this thing, which I'm not for full transparency, but I would if we made our way up to test this line of a conservative, again, the more touch points on these candles, the better. This line of conservative macro resistance sitting around, $32-$33, depending upon when this is tested once again. Okay. Best case scenario for HUT, in my opinion, is going to be this line of absolute long-term resistance, taking us to about $35-$36. But yeah, again, if I was trading this, I'd personally take a lot of profits around 32 once and if we were to see that. Mara, I'm going to be completely honest, Mara is my least favorite of the names we're discussing today. But Mara has the largest market cap of the bunch. If Bitcoin succeeds, it's really likely that Mara will as well. And Mara, pretty easy targets right here. I think Mara can test the top end of this ascending channel. Notice how these are all like similar ranges. Short-term ascending channel intersects with this line of conservative long-term resistance on this massive descending channel, up about 16%. $22 we'll call it if we do see it happen within the next week or two. Okay. From there, best case scenario for Mara, this line of very, very clear, very how I hate drawing trend lines, super absolute resistance, major just singular candle wicks in play here. But when it comes to crypto, a lot of traders look at these absolute lines. So $26 plus, entirely possible for Mara. 40% move up. Wouldn't be surprised. And all of the names we mentioned do announce earnings in early to mid-August. And if Bitcoin continues to rip, I have pretty high hopes for all of them. Okay, that's the video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I hope you gained some value from it. And I look forward to talking to you in the comments downstairs about all things BTC and Bitcoin miners or any other play that you're excited about. Okay, till next time, take action, make waves. Peace.